Last week, the rumor started to float out that this is Big Ben's last season. The last time we saw a Pittsburgh Steeler say, hey, this is my last ride, was the bust, and they end up winning the playoffs. I believe, or sorry, they won the Super Bowl as a 6th seed, which was the first 6th seed ever to do so, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe somehow, some way, can this emotion of Big Ben's last ride, push them, catapult them to a playoff and possible Super Bowl berth?
I don't know. I don't know if it will. I don't think it will. I think that's why he announced it, though. I think that's why he picked last week to say, hey, you know what, guys, this is going to be my last year, because they're in the hunt per se, and they got a tough schedule. And I think he was trying to pull the emotion out of the team. I think he was trying to say, hey, let's win this one for the Gipper type thing. It's not, I don't think it's going to work for him. I don't think that they are going to even make the playoffs, let alone make a run in the playoffs. And it sucks, because you look at a guy like Big Ben. I've watched a guy like Big Ben play his entire career, and he's just one of those guys who came in a time where you had Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, and all of them going at it time after time, and he kind of got left out in the dark, right? Nobody, if you ask somebody to pick the top 5 quarterbacks over the last 10 years, nobody's going to talk about Ben Roethlisberger, and he's won 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where he gets left out of it. So it would be nice to see him get at least into the playoffs and get a chance to go for another ring. I just think he's done. I think he was done last year. It just wasn't, when they started out 12-0 and then finished 12-4 and went out in the first round. I thought that was it for him then.
Right.
But it's a good try by Big Ben. I just don't think it's going to do what he thought it was going to do.
Yeah, and if you saw the emotion after the Ravens lost, that was like his Super Bowl almost, Combs. Like, that was just like him just like letting out that breath of fresh air, the emotion, like everything rolled out of him after that Baltimore Ravens win. It was kind of like when who was it? It was Drew Brees and Jameis was on the sideline like, hey, this is your team now. And I wonder if Ben Roethlisberger didn't have that conversation with a Mason Rudolph or a Dwayne Haskins after that game, after that Baltimore game, like, hey, this is your team now because I got my last win. Now, to say that, you want to see him just make it to the playoffs just to end on that quote high note. I would rather have them not make the playoffs and win that last game in Baltimore and knock the Baltimore Ravens out of the playoff. Now, that would be a career solidifying win. Like, hey, we knocked out the big, mighty #Ravens flock out of the playoffs, Super Bowl MVP, whatever, right? And then, like, wouldn't that be a great way to end a career?
That would be a great way to end a career. Who the hell wins that division then?
It is going to be Cincinnati